Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to get started with Notion? I totally understand. I felt the same way. So let me show you how I pushed past it so that you can too. Stick around. Okay, can we just talk for one quick second about how stressful it can be when you land on a page like this and it's just, I mean, I know this isn't totally blank, but it's like this white screen with a blinking cursor is stressful, right? It's like either I have no ideas at all, or I have so many ideas. I don't even know what to do with it. And in that case, I'm just going to not deal with this at all. And that almost happened to me with Notion, if I'm honest. So, as you've seen around the channel, I was a huge fan, am a huge fan of Trello. And even though technically when you start with Trello, I don't know, it's blank, right? I mean, you start a board, it's empty, but there's just something about the expected list card structure of a Trello board that takes away some of that overwhelm for me, at least. Here, though, we don't have that. I mean, sure, we have options here of, things that we can get started with, but overall, it's like there's too many choices, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to suggest here is that you come into Notion and don't expect for Rome to be built in a day, okay? Don't expect that you're going to come in here and build out this gorgeous dashboard or second brain like you've seen other people using. Yes, that may be your goal, but if you come into this, just like with anything, expecting or hoping to go from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds, you're going to be overwhelmed really fast. You're going to get stressed, frustrated, and, you're going to end up giving up. And it could be something that, is going to be amazing for you down the line if you just take your time. So I'm going to recommend something so basic. I think if you just come in here and start with a simple to-do list. Okay. I know that's so not sexy and it's like so boring, but let's just start really, really simple. So we're just going to create a to-do list. That's it. Now, you have two options here. You could just click right here on list, and I'm going to show you right now what that would do. It's going to create for you a list database. Now, if this is your first time looking at Notion, you're like, huh? This already looks too stressful because what is all of this? What is a data source? What is happening here? So within Notion, there are kind of two different concepts. There's the concept where you have a page and you have certain formatting and functionality you can use on that page, and it's super simple. It's nothing more than that, right? If you create a list, it's just a list. But Notion is based on the concept of databases and databases that can link to each other and can be viewed in multiple ways. And I will get to that in another video, because if I talk about or show you any of that here, then I'm already taking you too far too fast. So when something like this happens, these little 3 dots up here are going to be your best friend. So you're going to click on the 3 dots in the menu, and then you have undo, which I was trying to do a Control Z and it wasn't working. So I feel like sometimes you can go further than an undo can go. So one of the things they've built into Notion, which is really cool, is this page history. So when you click on that, you can see you could go back a couple of steps. So if I click on this one, then it's going to restore it, which is going to get rid of everything that I just did. Okay. So just know that. I mean, you can always, if you haven't really done much of anything, you could just delete the page and start over, but you can also do that to just kind of backtrack a little bit. So let's go ahead with our to-do list. And instead of choosing this one, which is going to create that list view of a database, which is a little bit more than we want to do right now, we're just going to click into empty page. And now this feels very much like Word, right? So if we wanted to, we could just start typing task 1, task 2, task 3. But this isn't very satisfying, right? Because we want a box to check. So there's a couple of ways that you could change this. So if you'd already typed stuff out and then you realized, oh, right, I was supposed to make this a checkbox type of field. Well, you can fix that without having to retype the whole list. You can come in here and click on this little, see this little, like, kind of looks like a domino now that I'm looking at it, but can click on this little guy and you have the option to turn it into something. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it into a to-do list. And I could do the same thing for all of these tasks. And once I've done that, once I'm on this one, when I just hit enter, it's just going to stay in that same formatting that I was in a minute ago. And if I wanted to leave that formatting, go back to just regular text, I would just hit enter again. And that does very much like what would happen if you were in bullets or numbering inside of Word. You can kind of switch it back to either a step back like it would be with bullets, or just take it back to regular text. So what I'm going to suggest is just start really, really simple with this. Get used to the functionality, how things work, get used to coming into this system every day and working in it. And the second thing I'm going to say, and this may or may not apply to you, it totally applied to me, and I have a feeling that it might to you as well, because what drew me to Notion in the first place was the aesthetics, right? I've talked about this in a previous video where I saw somebody else's and it was just so pretty. And I really wanted that kind of vibe while I was working. So if that is what kind of drew you into Notion in the first place, what caught your eye, then in addition to this simple to-do list that we're going to start with, also start adding a little bit of your personality and some aesthetic into it. So when you move your mouse up here above the name of the page, you get a couple of options here, okay? You get add a comment. That's literally what it sounds like. You could comment, tag people back and forth, just like on social media or anywhere else. But you can also add a cover image or an icon or both. So let's go ahead and start with a cover image. So we're going to hit add cover, and it's going to drop something random in there. That was very random. And you can move it around, but let's first instead go change cover. And now from here, you could choose just colors and gradients. They have also some kind of like featured images and stuff here. Or you could upload something of your own. You are limited if you're in the free version to something that's 5 megabytes, so just be aware of that. Or you could paste an image link. So this I haven't tried. Personally, I don't know that this would be my favorite way of doing things, because if somebody else changed their link, I don't know. It's not my favorite idea of that, but you could do that. Or you can just go to Unsplash, which is a bunch of free stock images that people create and submit. So once we're in here, now I'm a huge fan of the ocean. So I'm just going to put ocean, and I'm not going to take forever, even though I could scroll through these for days. But I'm just going to pick one. Let's go ahead with this one. I like how that looks. And I'm going to just choose it. And that's going to become my new header. And like I said, if you needed to move it around, you just hover over it, hit reposition, and then you can drag it around just like you would on, it lets you do this on Facebook, anywhere that you're putting a cover image, pretty much it lets you do that. And then we can also add an icon. And this is just kind of like a little emoji that it brings in. So I'm just going to go ahead with this little, nerdy emoji, because I like to use that a lot in the Tech Savvy Academy. So already this looks more like what you were likely expecting or hoping, and why you wanted to jump into Notion in the first place. So literally, I would just start with this. I would not take this any further for a week or two, depending on you. Everybody's a little bit different, but just get used to coming in here, adding tasks to your to-do list, and checking them off. Just get used to being in the system. Watch some videos of people on YouTube. Watch my videos of Notion, which I don't have a ton right now, but I'm going to be adding more. And just be thinking about the different processes that you have in your business, the different things that you do, the different things that you track. Maybe your social media posts, or maybe you're a blogger, and so you're planning out your blog for the next couple of weeks or whatever. But don't create any of that in here yet. Just start thinking on that, marinating on it, get an idea of what you might do in here, but just keep it simple to start with and really just get used to using it in the first place. The online tools for your business do not need to be complicated or overwhelming. It's time to let it be easy.